Hi sewing friends, welcome to my sewing room. My name is Beth. It's always nice to sew along with you. Today I'm taking two 10-inch squares, and after cutting them and sewing them together very quickly and easily, I'm going to get 2 quilt blocks, and it's going to make a really fun quilt. Let's get started. Here are the squares, the 10-inch squares that I have cut from fabric yardage, and here are the white squares. For this quilt, you really need a constant for that background fabric. You could choose any color, and in this quilt, I chose a white to go along with all of my blue fabrics. And the first thing I did is I put a little mark right in the center, and this can be eyeballed. It does not need to be the exact center of the square. That's just the spot where all of your lines need to intersect. Four lines, and here's a little demonstration of the lines that need to be cut. There needs to be an X going across your square in 2 directions, and I'm using these little strips of fabric to demonstrate where you need to cut, and those 2 X's need to intersect right there in the middle. That's why I drew that little dot in the middle of my fabric. Lines have been cut. You just move every other piece, and in this case I'm moving it up above so that I have room here for 2 blocks. I can lay out my 2 blocks, and then I'm able to piece them together. To make this block, I'll be joining 4 of those sort of pizza slices or pie slices. I'll be joining 4 together, and then I will put the 2 halves together. And as you can see, the points of these little pieces need to hang off about 1/4 of an inch so that your seam will come together nicely. So if there's a long point, it hangs off 1/4 of an inch, and you sew right at the place where they meet. And I have all my pieces together, all my 8 slices together. I pressed, I waited until it was all together. And in this very whimsical style quilt or liberated style quilt, the points will not all come together exactly in the middle or on the sides. When I join my quilt blocks, they will not match up, but I'm not aiming for that. And I just like the way this turns out, and I think it's a really easy way to get the same effect without stressing about things matching up. This quilt block is based on an older quilt block called Light and Dark, because of the 2 quilt blocks you make out of the same fabrics but different placements, and you alternate them in the quilt. This quilt block is just a variation on that, where you just cut those diagonal cuts without measuring. Thought I would show you what happens if you do not have that little pencil dot in the middle. If your lines do not come together in the center, you end up with, this is my mistake, you end up with that little piece in the middle, and so you really can't join the quilt block together very easily. So it's important to draw that little dot in the middle or near the middle. And I also wondered what it would look like if that pencil dot was off to the side. These pieces would sort of be off center, and I think that might make a fun looking quilt as well. The blocks measure about 9 inches when you're done, and when you have all your blocks ready to go, you join them together, alternating the light and the dark, and before you know it, you'll have a quilt. This was a really fun quilt to put together. White and blue are always a great combo. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you next time.